Next time on a comically long review, I'll finally get the Mighty Morphin comics up to double digits as we see how Jason and Tommy handled Black Dragon on the moon and the other Rangers figure out the situation with their powers, taking a look at Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issues number 9, 9, and 9.5. That's where it gets to double digits because it's 9.5. Hello there heroes, I'm the Orange Ranger and welcome to another comically long review. You may have noticed a slight difference between what I said was coming and the title of this video. Yes, I had decided to drop down to just 2 issues of the regular series per review. However, at this particular point, I'm a little more eager to catch the series up than to get the videos that much shorter. I can always work on things like tightening my writing or editing my videos more efficiently to get the length down, but I can only make so many videos at a time. So doing 3 issues in a video instead of 2 is going to let me get through 12 issues in a month instead of 8. Look at it this way, once I do get the series caught up, every video is only going to be covering 1 issue. Also, after going around getting as many of the disconnected other comics, annuals, and things like that as I could taken care of, it's now time to get back to the core MMPR storyline. Now, if you are new to these reviews, you might be expecting something like a review of the Shattered Grid arc, which begins with MMPR issue number 25. Let's take a look at Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issues number 5, number 6, and number 7. This was still early in Boom's run, so issue number 5 has a ton of covers. 9. There's the regular cover, 4 variant covers, and 4 exclusive covers. We have a lot to cover, so I'm just going to talk specifically about the one that I have, which is the regular cover. It's a great cover, and I'm starting to say cover a lot, and it's sounding weird, with the Rangers and Rita having a tug of war with Zack as the rope, with green a primary color. Does that mean what it seems to? We shall see. 1 month before Tommy Oliver came to Angel Grove. Yes, interestingly enough, this issue is a standalone story, though it has elements that will be referenced later on. You might remember that issue number 4 ended on a major cliffhanger, the command center blown up, and a huge Zord-type creature standing over the Rangers. So doing this is kind of like having a major TV cliffhanger and getting a rerun the next week. The president of Italy is having a press conference saying they aren't scared of Rita, and the people of Italy will not bow to her. Rita is watching this press conference because she has the top-tier satellite TV package on her crystal ball, and gives kind of an, oh yeah, look. A short time later, a giant 4-armed man monster is attacking Italy while quoting Leonardo da Vinci in Italian. Quick little comic note, when text is in brackets, that means it's being translated from another language. One of the staffers says he thinks it's supposed to be the Vitruvian Man. That's a drawing by Da Vinci you often see associated with medicine, a man in 2 poses on a circle. Suddenly, the Vitruvian Manster gets hit by lightning, which is coming from the Megazord's sword? The monster gets back up and slugs back while quoting Da Vinci, which Kim points out to try and prevent the Google searches. Too late, at least for me. Jason notices that it's making for the Prime Minister, the same guy the podium said president, and leaps from the Megazord to stab the monster in the hand. He goes to save the Prime Minister, but proving this is not the best idea, the monster is about to smash them before Zack, driving the Megazord, slashes it down. The Rangers all point out that Zack saved the day, but as they leave the Megazord, the crowd below only saw what the Red Ranger did and give him all the glory. Rita can somehow zoom the view in and sees even through Zack's helmet that he's disappointed. Goldar points out that the Vitruvian should have had some armor and not just been able to recite Da Vinci quotes that even he admits Squat and Babu Googled. Finster says he's working on a second version, but Rita says no. Zack's mopiness has given her a new idea. Zack gets jumped by Goldar and a group of putties, whacked on the back of the head, and taken. He wakes up in the holding cell dimension, and Rita is there saying, believe it or not, she comes in peace. She says that Zack still has his power coin, and then something happens to his cuffs. I guess they just fly off. She says Zack can leave at any time, but she'd like the opportunity to talk to him. She congratulates him for being the real reason the Rangers won that last battle, that he drove the Megazord while Jason jumped out to be a glory hound. She shows him something else, taking him on a tour of the palace. She says Zordon is the reason they can't have peaceful relations. Zack says they attack with giant monsters, but Goldar says they didn't start growing them until Zordon developed the Zords. But surely he did that because he knew you could make them big. And I mean, does that excuse monster attacks in the first place?
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
Rita makes her pitch to Zack. Her attacks on Earth, her attempt to take over, have been about getting Earth to its full potential.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
She still believes she can do that, and Zack can help her. How? Rita holds up the Dragon Coin. That's right, heroes. Rita is offering Zack the chance to become her Green Ranger. She tells him that she knows what it's like to be a second in command that could really be the leader, and that they are kindred spirits that way. I'm not really sure what it is that Rita is alluding to, other than the 2017 movie where Rita was the Green Ranger and betrayed Zordon and the other Rangers to gain power. I'm not really sure what else this could be alluding to. Lord Zed, maybe? Anyway, she shows Zack images of himself acting as a solo hero as the Green Ranger, using the Dragon Zord and unmasking to the adulation of a grateful city. So, what's the catch? Rita says there isn't one. Well,
Just one more thing.
she says that since the Dragon Coin comes with
phenomenal cosmic power,
he would have to willingly give up his Mastodon coin to use it. It does sort of touch on the
too much pink energy is dangerous
thing. But you know what this oddly reminded me of, actually? An episode of Captain Planet called The Conqueror, where an alien named Zarm comes and gives the Planeteers the Iron Fists, gloves of conquest that enhance their elemental powers, but they have to take off their rings, and the gloves cannot summon Captain Planet. Of course, they start turning the Planeteers, minus Mati, whose heart power let him see Zarm's intentions, evil and also hurt Gaia. Anyway, this is the same thing. If Rita's intentions are so good, why doesn't she just give Zack the Dragon Zord and let him act as a solo hero as the Black Ranger? Predictably, it looks like Zack is agreeing at first, saying ambiguous things like, "You're right, we should be doing more." But of course he's not, and he slugs Goldar, sending 3 copies of the Dragon Coin into the air. Okay, no, it took me a second, but while everything else in the image is still, the copies are the coin moving across the page to Zack's hand in the next frame. Rita zaps Zack and Goldar attacks, but Zack manages to hit his communicator, apparently setting it on a delay so he can punch Goldar one more time before disappearing in a flash instead of the blob with bolts. At the command center, he's told Zordon and Alpha about what Rita offered and her ability to create a new Ranger. Zack says they should tell the others, but Zordon asks for time to assess things. A nice possible explanation for how Zordon knew about the coin when Rita finally did use it, but Zack was just as surprised as the others at that point. I mean, he does have that line where he says Rita played her trump card, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he knew about it. Zack guiltily admits that Rita's offer did tempt him, but Zordon says that just means he's human, and the temptation was more about the best possible way to defend and take care of the Earth. Zack says he does still feel like he needs to do more, not like being the team's leader, just actually doing more for the planet. Zordon once again asks for time to think about that, and that's just where that ends. Zack meets the others at the diner, and Jason is buying to thank Zack for saving his bacon. They say the Rangers aren't the same without him, and he realizes while he may not get the adulation of the world, his friends really care about him. Meanwhile, Rita is scouting out another suitor for the Green Ranger, saying she needs a clean slate, someone who hasn't heard Zordon's ideals. She finds Tommy, but a voice suddenly speaks from the darkness, saying Tommy will betray her and join the Rangers. She demands to know who is speaking, but the voice says that when she's ready to rule the world, that's when she'll see him. This was a very interesting little side story, actually. It's fascinating to think about the fact that Zack would have been offered the Green Ranger powers first, that Rita went after one of the Rangers already on the team, and to think about what might have happened if he had accepted. It just adds some interesting nuances to Zack's character, and as I saw someone on Twitter point out, it makes the moment when Zack gets the dragon shield from Tommy mean all that much more, because it actually makes it the end of a character arc where Zack does get to use an aspect of those powers himself. It also kind of explains why Rita waited so long to use the dragon coin. She didn't. She tried to use it much earlier, just with one of the Rangers instead of Tommy. And then when she finally turns to Tommy, a mysterious voice in the darkness tells her not to, so it kind of explains a lot. I will say my only real critiques of this issue are that the middle of the story gets a little bit talky, and this being an aside, it kind of felt more like an annual edition story or a special story rather than something that belonged in the core line interrupting a cliffhanger. Issue number 5 gets a 4 out of 5. Let's move on to issue number 6, which gets 6 covers, just one of them being an exclusive for Baltimore Comic-Con. That's actually a cover worth commenting on though, as it's Babu, who we never really saw go into battle and actually seemed a little bit squeamish, holding 2 of the Rangers' helmets with his hands and 2 more with the appendages from his back. Interesting. The main cover, which is the one I got, is kind of a generic action shot of the team posing, but interestingly centered on Trini. Tommy and Jason are front and center, but Trini is sort of floating in the center and really draws the focus. We open in San Francisco in the aftermath of the last attack, though not really, seeing as this is a TV news report, and at the bottom of the page, Tommy's mom, wearing a green power suit funny enough, wonders why they had to move to Angel Grove. She urges Tommy to get ready for school, but goes to his room and finds that he's not there, since he's facing off with the creature that showed up when the command center exploded. The creature calls himself the Black Dragon, and he says he would give them one chance to surrender, but already knows how they're going to answer that. Apparently the offer was still genuine though, as he gives them time to respond, and yeah, Jason says you just blew up our base, not really feeling like giving up.
Need to ease up out my face for something bad happened to you.
Black Dragon starts emitting some kind of sonic wave that drives the Rangers back and conveniently demorphs their faces. Kim fires some exploding arrows at his head, allowing the other Rangers to attack. Over the next few pages, Black Dragon beats the Rangers around. Jason offers him one last chance to give up, and Black Dragon passes on that by blasting Jason into the wall. He focuses all of his attention on the Green Ranger.
Always so different, so unique. Let's make you a bit more normal.
And he starts ripping the dragon shield off of him. Meanwhile, Trini has a plan to retreat and regroup. She can teleport the Rangers to the pocket dimension, with Jason pointing out that with the command center exposed, they're going to need to reroute all of their controls inside of there. I mean, there have been several episodes of Star Trek where characters took control of the Enterprise via computers inside the holodeck, so I guess that makes sense. Jason activates the teleportation, but Black Dragon grabs Billy and is able to somehow hold him there. Billy keeps fighting, but the Black Dragon knocks him out and says he's now ready for the Empress. The other Rangers arrive in the pocket dimension, which is deteriorating without Zordon maintaining it. It takes the Rangers 5 panels to realize Billy didn't come along for the ride. Trini says they have to go back before... but Jason says it's too late, pulling up a display and showing evil forces entering what's left of the command center. Kim asks if Tommy recognizes the Black Dragon or anything Rita is doing right now from his time under her control. The only really useful information he has is Scorpina saying that the crystal is charged by green chaos energy, and that's what opened the portal. Zack, carrying over their earlier conflict, says this means it's connected to Tommy in some way. Oh my god, if you guys don't chill out, somebody's gonna slip on the testosterone and break their neck. Cute line. The guys apologize and refocus on the task at hand. Meanwhile, Rita steps over Alpha's body and enters the wreckage of the command center, saying that other than losing Scorpina, this is all going really well. Black Dragon tells her how the Rangers fled to the pocket dimension and rerouted their controls there. Rita says they can't follow them then, but Black Dragon says they don't even need to, and reveals that he has Billy's morpher. He says he's going to use the coin to access the morphing grid and holds up the green crystal. He fires some kind of beam of energy through it at the coin. In the pocket dimension, as the Rangers theorize where Billy might be, suddenly everyone but Tommy screams in pain and gets hit by lightning. And as it fades, we see that they've all lost their powers. This is a pretty strong issue. A lot of it is just a big fight scene, but they do pretty well to balance that out on the back end. The Rangers have to hunker down and regroup, and we have the dread of the destruction of the command center, a villain that's absolutely pushed them around, losing Billy, and now losing their powers. And the only one of them not impacted is someone that they don't all trust entirely. The only tiny downside, like I mentioned, and a funny opposite to issue number 5, is that the fight scene is just a little bit too long. So, issue number 6 gets a 4.5 out of 5. Starting to see a steady decrease in the number of alternate covers, as issue number 7 only had 5, and none of them are really worth commenting on, so we'll just talk about the main cover. It's a little weird, to be honest. It seems to be a moment from the story, the Rangers facing off against their own Zords with Billy missing and Tommy the only one who's morphed. But it gets a little weirder when you start looking at the fine details. At first, it looks like the Zords are attacking the Rangers with lightning, but then I noticed that the saber-toothed tiger Zord is standing on the lightning, so this is more cracks in the floor. I guess that makes sense since the Rangers are hidden out in the pocket dimension, but then what are the Zords doing? Billy finds himself in the prison dimension hearing someone approach. He realizes that it's Goldar, but Goldar's not there to get him. He's there as a fellow prisoner. Rita imprisoned Goldar, even putting him in chains for losing the Green Ranger. Billy wonders why Rita jailed him for this when he failed lots of other times before, but Goldar doesn't dignify that with a response. In a one-page aside, we see that the Black Dragon has located the T-Rex Zord's hiding place, firing a beam into its eye, saying it's time to wake up. Showing what a caring and supportive boss Rita is, she's having the putties line up around the command center so they can be melted down into a protective wall. Yes, Rita's decided to move into the command center now that the Rangers have vacated. How much higher is rent on the moon that you would move to Los Angeles? Though I guess it cuts the commute to work way down. Rita has the putties install Lord Zed's throne. Yes, it doesn't have the Z on it, but that's clearly Zed's throne. Rita's palace didn't have a throne. Anyway, she has them place it directly where Zordon's tube was. She takes the time to berate Alpha's head, calling him a fool for following Zordon for so long. It almost feels like a hint to backstory that she once tried to recruit Alpha. Anyway, she orders Alpha melted down to make a lamp, but we see his eye display light up, indicating that he's still alive. Cut to, a dismantled morpher? I really don't know what's up with this morpher holding a small yellow crystal instead of a power coin. Anyway, I say possibly dismantled because Trini is analyzing the morphers to see what is wrong with their powers. She's gotten as far as the issue not being their morphers, and Zack chimes in to say that their power scans are also clean. And then a great chance for character growth for Trini is absolutely wasted. Trini is uncertain, not feeling as strong in her handling of this stuff as Zordon or Billy. Jason, the team's leader, puts a hand on her shoulder and reassures her. So he tells her that she's just as capable as Billy, right? That she will get this figured out and help save the day, right? Nope. He tells her that we'll crack this somehow, and then they'll get Billy back and go from there. It reads like, "Don't worry, Trini, you're probably just smart enough to solve this and get Billy back, and then he can be smart and we won't need to worry about relying on you anymore." Anyway, Trini's theory is that they've been cut off from the grid based on the fact that one of the Rangers connects to the grid a different way than they do, and Mr. Greenpants is the only one who still has his powers. We cut to, well, I almost said to the pocket dimension, but then I wondered where the other Rangers would be, so I guess this is just elsewhere in the pocket dimension. Tommy is watching the moment the command center exploded over and over, and when Kim walks up to him, we realize that he's beating himself up. He was very close to stopping this entire plan. He beat Scorpina, he broke the fake dagger, he got the crystal. Then he got mad at Zack and gave the crystal exactly what it needed. Of course, Zack started that argument, so this isn't really Tommy's fault. I guess maybe partially since he didn't just walk away. There's a cute moment here, though. So much for making a killer first impression, huh? Actually, technically your first impression did involve trying to kill us. It sounds snarky, but the look the two of them share makes you realize that it was a moment of cuteness between the two, and they've definitely moved past that. Tommy says he just wanted to do a good job, and Kim says she and the others know that, but Tommy's new and the entire team is just adjusting. That bit of character development aside, Rita interrupts by doing that all frequencies, all forms of media, can't even turn it off thing. Rita tells the people of Earth that she really wants unity. The war has gone on for too long, and now she's bringing it to an end. The leaders of the world, how big a club is that, by the way? The G6? Have 24 hours to stand down and pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of Rita Repulsa. And for those wondering about the Rangers saving them, she says she's destroyed them, taken their home, and oh, by the way, their Zords. By the by, check out Bulk and Skull here. Less, oh no, the Rangers have been killed, and more, aw man, we're gonna have to revamp the channel now. Wonder if those Justice League folks have a following. The T-Rex Zord is in France, the Tiger Zord is in Japan. Blah blah, resistance is futile, join us or fall, etc, etc. You know what I always think of at a time like this? I guarantee you there would be like 5 or 6 nations that would pledge allegiance to Rita right away. And you wonder how those nations would look to the rest of the world when Rita was then defeated. The Rangers regroup, all having seen Rita's threat. Trini once again downplays herself to Billy. Listen, I get that she's got a thing for him in this continuity, but Trini was also grace and, more importantly, confidence personified. Only heights got her shook up. Tommy says if Billy is alive, Rita will have him in the Dark Dimension, which is the name of the prison cell holding dimension I've been talking about. Rita just has so many little dimensions that I lose track of the names. Tommy begs Jason for a chance to go save Billy. There's a portal generator in Rita's moon base, and with Rita moving, there's probably not many folks hanging out at the old house. Zack points out, that's cool, you have a way out, but you need a way in. Teleporting is out, seeing as the command center is, shall we say, being remodeled for new tenants. Jason and Tommy share a look. What method could they have to get there? Maybe a connection at Nasada? Maybe an inn with one of those new space elevators being built? Or we could fly the Dragon Zord into space. That works too, I guess. Rockets fire from its hands and feet as it flies and lands on the moon. My brain is having an argument with itself on how awesome that is versus how little sense it makes. Jason has come along with Tommy because of reasons. The putties feel first, the Dragon Zord approaching and open fire. The Dragon Zord responds in the natural way, firing rockets that blow up the turrets. Well, that's one way to ring the doorbell. Seeing as Tommy has the suit that theoretically would allow him to breathe on the moon, he hands Jason the Dragon Dagger and leaps out. A very jaunty looking group of putties waltzes by with Tommy hiding. Tommy finds the portal generator right next to Rita's washer and dryer set over there, but is welcomed back by the Black Dragon. Lack of a transition, woo! So Trini is beating herself up for a third time, and thankfully Jason's not around to tell her to just find Billy and she'll be okay after that. So Zack finally steps up to tell her that she's doing fine and just needs to relax. She regrets advising Jason to retreat from the command center, but Zack says that was the right move. He knows things have been going rough, but hey, things have to break their way soon. And at that point, they get a signal from Alpha. While Jason has fun with rocket fingers, Black Dragon beats Tommy around. Then he sees the Dragon Zord, assumes that's Jason, and goes to face off with it. As has been the case thus far, Black Dragon just beats the Dragon Zord around as well, even knocking Jason out of it. Tommy screams, "No!" But Black Dragon points out that Tommy has a bigger problem, namely being the toy in his claw game. This feels like another one of those classic Boom transitionary issues. There's good plot and nice character building, just not a lot actually going on. The action is mainly shoved to the end to set up the next issue, and even that action is basically Black Dragon beating everyone around. It's still a really good issue with good plot. The one major downside, as I mentioned, is I really wish they had just done more with Trini stepping up in Billy's absence and gaining confidence in her abilities in that arena. Issue number 7 gets a 4 out of 5. Next time on a comically long review, I finally get the Mighty Morphin issues up to the double digits. We'll see how Tommy and Jason deal with the Black Dragon on the moon, while Trini and the rest of the Rangers figure out the situation with their powers when I take a look at Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issues number 8, 9, and 10. For now, that's going to do it for another comically long review. Thank you, heroes, so much as always for watching. In the comments below, let me know what you thought about these 3 issues, as well as my review of them. And make sure you hit that like button, mash that thumbs up button right down there to let me know that you enjoyed the video. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel to see all of my videos and ring that bell. Get your notifications set up so you will be notified of whenever I post brand new videos like these comically long reviews. And if you'd like to lend any financial support to my channel, there are 2 ways that you can do so. First, you can head over to ko-fi.com/OrangeRangerVideos and buy me a coffee. Those are set at $3 a piece. I'd really appreciate that. But if you'd like to donate less or a different amount, head on over to digitaltipjar.com/OrangeRangerVid. There you can donate me any amount you would like, toss a little change in that tip jar, and I greatly appreciate anything that lands inside. Until next time, heroes, may the power protect you. Is going to get me through 12 issues in a month instead of 8. I can always work on things like tightening my writing or editing videos more. Now, if you're new to these videos, you might be expecting something at least like a review of Shattered Grid, which... Anyway, this was still early in Boom's run, so we've got a ton of covers for this first issue. Blah, 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 blah. A short time later, a giant 4-armed man monster is attacking Italy, while quote, predictably, it makes the moment in the show when Zack gets to use the dragon shield from Tommy, yeah. This was a very interesting little side story, actually. I don't know why, it just was. A voice from the darkness told her that she should hold off on doing that. It's Babu, who we never saw go into battle and actually always seemed a little bit squeamish. That Kim asked Tommy, but they do well to She's gotten as far as the issue not being the morphers themselves, and Jack. She's gotten as far as the issue not being the morphers themselves, and Zack. He was very close to stopping this whole plan. Beat Scorpina, broke the fake dragger. That bit of character development aside, Rita interrupts doing all that frequencies. Have 24 hours to stand down and pledge allegiance to the United States. You know what I always think of? But if you want to donate less or a different amount, you can head over to Orange...